Anne Boleyn died in the Tower of London on May 19th, 1536. A single sword stroke of her executioner killed the English queen. Cannons announced to the entire city that the deed was done. Undoubtedly, it is one of the most famous executions of all time. But should it actually take place? It is possible that King Henry VIII originally planned to save Anne. At least that's the theory Tracy Borman recently put forward. The curator of the Royal Historic Palaces was featured in a history hit video, which was actually dedicated to Anne's ghost. I will link it in the description. Here she talked about it. Miss Borman is one of the best historians when it comes to Anne. Probably no one knows the sources as well as she does. I wholeheartedly recommend her book about Anne and Elizabeth, published last year. Because of her qualifications, which are beyond reproach, I thought we should talk about this topic. To be clear, Miss Borman herself does not assume for sure that Henry was planning a rescue. She put it forward on the basis of 4 pieces of evidence and nothing more. First, most people couldn't imagine at the time that it would really come to this. It had been centuries since a European ruler had his wife executed. Contrary to what is often rumored, however, it was not the first time. For example, the Roman Emperor Constantine had his wife Fausta killed. Second, on the day of Anne's execution, they had apparently forgotten to lock the gates of the tower. According to Miss Borman, about 1,000 people attended the event. Originally, it was supposed to be a relatively private execution. Instead, there was a large crowd present. Thirdly, there was no coffin for Anne. Instead, Anne's body was wrapped in a white cloth. One of the tower guards had to retrieve an old ermine box from the armory where bowstrings used to be stored. This served as a makeshift coffin. I linked to a media article in which Borman reports extensively on these details of the execution. Allegedly, the coffin was missing as even the officials at the court safely assumed that there would be no execution. Fourth, Archbishop Thomas Cranmer visited Anne the night before the execution. Borman speculates that it may have been an order from the king. If Anne agreed to the annulment of her marriage, she would be allowed to live. As is well known, this did not happen. Cranmer instead declared the marriage invalid. Miss Borman also makes some arguments against Henry's intention to save Anne, however she doesn't call it that in the video. They are all very well known and should therefore only be mentioned briefly. First, the king had the French executioner Jean Rombart come from France, who was known for his successful beheadings with the sword. Why would Henry do this if he wasn't going to have the execution carried out? The axe would probably have been similarly effective as a tool to frighten Anne. Second, we now know that Henry personally planned the execution down to the smallest detail. He expressly instructed Tower Constable Sir William Kingston not to leave anything out of his instructions. Why should he bother if he did not decide that his wife should die? I do not claim to know the sources as well as Miss Borman, not even close to be completely honest. It sounds plausible to me that apart from Henry, no one seriously thought that there would be an execution. However, it seems unlikely to me that the king seriously considered not killing Anne. The open tower gates may also have been intentional to guarantee a large crowd. The missing coffin may have been a deliberate humiliation. Henry's former love for Anne had turned into the complete opposite. But my opinion on this issue is good as any other. And since you seem to have liked that I said it and not only wrote it, please like and subscribe. I would be very grateful for that. Thank you. Bye.